Folks, this is a quick walk around of my Audi TT electric car project. Been underway for 2 years now and I'm probably 80% complete. So here's the beastie here. So we'll start from the back of the car with the AC charging point. Let's dive inside the car here and open the fuel filler and the tailgate at the same time. So the charging point is integrated into the fuel filler position. It's quite a nice job, if I say so myself. And that's a slow AC charging, 3.3 kilowatts maximum. So you also use the public charging infrastructure here in New Zealand. Quick shot of the electric badge. It's a bit garish in gold. I might spray it blue, I think, maybe. Okay, so at the back of the car, that's quite a large battery pack there. 6500 ampere cells in there, about 200 kg in weight. And my philosophy around locating the battery pack was to keep the mass central inside the axles as far as practical. I wasn't so concerned about maintaining a low centre of gravity, as that can be countered with stiff springs and anti-roll bars. So, well, there you go. It may work, may not. That's the DC-DC converter right there, so 320 volts down to 12 volts, not actually secured at the moment. Just have to find a location for it, probably in the wheel well. I'll sacrifice that. And other than that, the boot space is actually reasonably similar to the original, so I haven't sacrificed much boot space, which is nice to have. Okay, from the AC charge inlet, you see the orange cable going out there under the battery pack and then ends up at the charger, obviously, which is actually located under the car in this enclosure here. So it's a Brucer 3.3 kilowatt charger, air cooled, hence the air inlet on the, as you can see on that side, and on the other side of the enclosure is an outlet ducted to the underside of the battery compartment. So having heating for the battery in cold weather is a good thing. So that worked out quite nicely. You can just see the built-in suspension on the back, height adjustable. Now, following the HV cables from the rear battery pack, I've got the HV control contactors fusing here under the car. So this is actually the negative contactor here. There's no voltage on at the moment, obviously. This fuse here is for the auxiliary equipment, being the cabin heater and the DC-DC converter. And in identical enclosure, forward is the positive contactor and the pre-charge resistor. And then out to the front battery pack and the converter. That's what lives under here. So these are actually mounted in cast aluminium IP68 enclosures, as they're going to have to survive some pretty harsh conditions here, road spray, etc. So I think they'll be quite happy in there. There are some you probably can't see, maybe you can. There's a couple of vents in there, which they're IP69K vents, which will maintain the pressure the same as the external atmosphere inside the enclosures, so there's no chance of any seal failure due to the vacuuming of the enclosure when the things cool down. Okay. Okay, so front of the car. Obviously the front of the car's quite complete, but you can see stuff in that way. That's the early generation Nissan Leaf water heater, 4 kilowatts. There's 3 IGBT heater elements in there, sorry, 4 heater elements, total of 4 kilowatts. That'll be controlled from an Arduino controller, as we don't have the Nissan Leaf computer to do the control for that anymore. And the original radiator, which I'm probably not going to retain. I need to have 2 separate heat exchangers on this car, one for the water-cooled motor, one for the water-cooled inverter or motor controller. So I'm probably going to replace that with 2 high-efficiency heat exchangers in the same space. Okay, and on to the side of the car, the driver's side of the car. Housed in front of the front wheel arch is the power steering pump of a Holden stroke Vauxhall Astra. Fits in there quite nicely, and you can just see the HV cables coming down from the controller to the traction motor itself, which is, as mentioned before, water-cooled 3-phase AC Siemens unit, mounted to standard Audi 5-speed manual gearbox via an uprated clutch. Okay, so let's pop the hood. So under here, shoehorned is the front battery pack, 35 cells in here. So which comes with a total of 100 cells, 100 amp hour cells. So the entire battery pack, traction pack, is 32 kilowatt hours, 320 volts. There's the 2 bulkhead connectors. So the battery box actually comes out pretty easily to service any component underneath there if required. Not like else to see here, I guess. This is the fuse disconnect. Part of the regulations here in New Zealand is to have a separate fuse disconnect for every battery pack. So you'll see the one in the rear in a few moments. That's the front one. This is the surge pot for the water heater, and this box here is incomplete, but is the relay control box for all the low voltage EV control stuff. Okay, so a quick look inside the car. So a previous video of mine showed the control procedure for starting the car, which is this engine stop start push button here, there's an e-stop here. So mounted here will be in place the original radio is a 7-inch EVTT touch screen display, and that's pretty much all the space allows for there. Unfortunately, the radio has to be relocated somewhere else, which is another high priority for me. And the auxiliary Arduino controller, which will do the control work for the water heater and probably some other stuff as well. So it's obviously yet to be completed and mounted in the car. Okay, so it's almost drivable. I haven't turned the motor yet, but I expect to do that within the next few weeks after a trip to the States due to take. And I'll be, after its motor spun up, there's a few more components to add. There's a fuel gauge driver there, which will drive the fuel gauge. It's a coulomb counter, and we'll also drive the tachometer to show instantaneous power usage. Sounds nice. And that's a Hella vacuum pump EP30, which for the brakes. And pretty much the heart of the system is EVTT Dec17 controller, which looks like a bit of wiring, but it's actually pretty simple to implement. Not all of those cords will be used. So that's the next step in the project, is do some wiring and some testing. There you have it. So 6 months time, I'm hoping it'll be pretty much complete and hopefully on the road. Thanks for watching.